everybody, and welcome to Too Weird Didn't Wash, the show where we watch, not wash. Let's start over. Hello and welcome.
I can't even. I'm trying to figure out what that would be about. It's like a show about like people who don't take care of their house. Like, hey, you need to clean this place up.
I thought it was about people who didn't have good personal grooming habits.
Also that.
Hello and welcome to Too Weird Didn't Watch, the show where we make fun of movies that we have not seen based on nothing but their weird descriptions.
I'm Ranley.
And I'm Albert. And today we're kicking things off with Brides of Blood from 1968.
So is this like the Brides of Dracula? Because they don't get enough love.
They don't. They showed up in that great Van Helsing movie.
Yeah.
As like weird giant bat things.
I mean, so was Dracula in that movie.
Yeah.
Because that was basically a Castlevania movie.
Didn't they just get killed off immediately too?
No. One did. Then one got blown up when they dropped the decoy carriage off and has a bomb with stakes in it. And then the last one has her little showdown with Anya.
Okay.
Or Anna. And then I think there's a Hammer horror movie called Brides of Dracula, but that's really all that comes to mind.
The plot concerns a group of dummies who venture to Blood Island, a place where nobody in their right mind would dare to visit. I mean, you know, just because it's called Blood Island, maybe it's just like a really nice...
Honestly, that sounds... If you have a place called Blood Island, you're going to get a lot of teenagers breaking in there just to see what's up. Especially if it's like, it's forbidden, like, yeah, we're going there.
It's that island that Disney owns. What are you going to do? It's really great. They just call it Blood Island to keep the weirdos away. Surely the sailors who ferry our protagonists to Blood Island are aware that it's bad news, but they leave the fools there anyway.
There's a lot of editorializing going on there.
This one came from a review.
These ones are dummies. You think these guys would know, but clearly they're jerks and drop them off anyways.
We have a scientist, his nympho wife, a quote-unquote studly adventurer, and some miscellaneous others who are aboard to be menaced. And boy, are they ever. Yeah, you know, like, you got your main guys, and then you got to have some cannon fodder in the background who maybe you remember. I'm more interested
in this interesting glimpse we're getting into the life of the person who wrote this, or at least the personality of them.
You don't think that they have made this woman to be, I mean, nympho is maybe a strong word, but...
Promiscuous, yes, likely, but...
What is your...
The specific wordage is very distracting for me here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Unless you're the one that wrote it.
I am not, no. I just scraped it off of IMDb, and I might have removed, like... A lot of these include endless so-and-so played by so-and-so after this movie. And you're just like, I don't need that information.
Yeah, I will only keep those if there's someone interesting, like...
Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee,
That's the only one I can think of. Okay, Lon Chaney Jr., yes. It seems some stray radiation from A-bomb testing has done strange things to the local flora and fauna.
Okay, now I'm on board.
A butterfly bites someone on the hand.
How?
The trees have... Look, okay, I'm going to back up here. It seems some stray radiation from A-bomb testing has done strange things to the local flora and fauna. That's how.
I don't even have those right. Whatever, they're mutants.
It's a freaky butterfly.
Yeah, and there's blood-drinking ones already, I know, but continue.
The trees have animated roots and make shrill vibrating sounds while trying to grab a hold of passersby. To what purpose, I'm not sure, since they don't seem to have mouths with which to bite anybody.
Well, I mean, the roots could just plunge into them and drink them. We are full of nutrients.
Yeah, you just bury the people under the tree. This person doesn't know a lot, I think, about
I know
trees.
when we see roots, it's just like, that's just what holds them down. It's like, no, that's literally how they eat.
It's both. Actually, pretty cool.
It's a different form of life that took a very different path than us.
The most troublesome mutation on the island is the appearance of a lumbering, mouth-breathing, humanoid monster with a desire for human sacrifices of the young female type. It's very similar to an episode we had 2 or 3 weeks ago with the monster that would only feast on the blood of virgin ladies.
I mean, it's seen one second round. I'm just getting like Creature from like Lagoon vibes now.
Could this be the radioactive alter ego of the wealthy proprietor of the luxurious island?
So, the first idea is that Jekyll and Hyde mutates into this thing. But more fun is if he's just this big lumbering mouth-breathing mutant in a business suit.
Oh, and they're just assuming that it's him?
But it's
Hi, Dr. Pretorius. How are you doing today?
oh yeah.
We don't want... What is wrong with this guy? Don't offend him. He's super rich. Meanwhile, the actual rich guy is like tied up in the basement in his underwear. I don't think this is that kind of movie,
No,
really.
but it's so
I'm
much
sure
more
it's
fun.
silly.
The evil plan.
Oh, I'm going to read the whole sentence here because we actually cut off in the middle.
Okay.
Could this be the radioactive alter ego of the wealthy proprietor of the luxurious island Hacienda? The one who has summoned our heroes there? The very one under whose roof they've taken shelter.
Okay, wait, so they've been summoned there. So it's not just them being dumb and going to an island called the Island of Blood, or Blood Island, or whatever. And yeah, the fishermen are probably spooked, but it's like, hey, we're being paid to bring out here, so... Again, I'm left to question the person who wrote this. Why are they so judgy?
That's what you do when you review a movie.
Yes, but them, whenever... If you use their dummies going there, that makes it sound like they're just going.
Here's what I'm going to guess. Within the movie's logic, they have a reason to be there. Mm-hmm. But they're still super dumb and annoying.
Well, I mean, of course.
I'm thinking right now of the characters from Michael Bay's film Six Underground, and
I'm thinking of the Kirby's from Jurassic Park 3.
I cannot figure out what is up with Michael Bay. I think he must just know a bunch of annoying people. That's the only explanation I can think of.
He makes movies that are like trailers, and in trailers you put the most high energy acting from the characters.
Right,
most of them, because they're screen grabs, like especially action movie trailers. It's people shouting or being like, ah! So he gets people who do that because he wants his whole movie to be like that trailer and have that energy. But in a long period of time, that's just annoying.
It's super annoying. And then the frustrating thing is, if you were to restructure the characters, the action is delectable. Like, he's,
That's Michael Bay.
He's got all kinds of cool the opening... I haven't actually finished the movie because it's tough to watch more than like 20 minutes at a time. But, you have these cool car crashes and things are set up interestingly, and then the characters in the plot are just irritating. And it made me think my favorite Michael Bay movie is Pain and Gain. And I think that movie is my favorite movie is because all of those characters actually are arguably supposed to be despicable.
Okay.
Like, they're all scumbags. And so when you're annoyed by them, you're like, well, yeah, because they're scumbags. When he tries to make you actually root for a hero-type person, you can't get on board because they're all so annoying.
Compare Shia LaBeouf in Transformers with Shia LaBeouf in Holes. Same dude, couple years apart. He's not really super engaging in Transformers. Whereas he does absolutely fine in Holes. He's not like the best actor in the movie, but he does absolutely fine there.
Well, yeah, and Shia LaBeouf has continued to put out work that would make you believe that he is genuinely concerned with being good at his art, let's say. Whether your personal thoughts about him are positive or negative, you can't say the dude is just, like, phoning it in.
Right.
So, and I think he probably got more and more annoyed as he got further and further into Michael Bay's clutches. Like, I'm pretty sure Transformers 1, he's trying to be, like, some kind of hero, and then at some point somebody gave up. Anyway, that's all we have for the Brides of Blood.
All
Next
right,
up,
where are the brides?
I don't know. I mean, we have the desire of sacrifices of the young female type, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
The monster wants lady
I guess maybe
sacrifices.
these are all ladies. I assume they were dudes because movies.
Well, there are some dudes. I mean, there's a husband and a studly man, but
A quote unquote studly man.
quote unquote, like they put now it's not full quotes, it's like single quotes for the studly, but still, they're throwing some shade. Next up, we have The Mad Doctor of Blood Island from 1968.
Sequel.
Yes, we're doing a trilogy. This one, by the way, as far as I can tell, came out literally the same year as Brides of Blood. By the same director, arguably a sequel. It's one of those where it's like in the same vein and has some of the same actors, but
Okay.
I can't remember. Some of the reviews mentioned that the name switched from movie to movie. So not exactly a sequel, but close enough.
Maybe they were planning to make the sequel and they had like the B group filmed the sequel at the same time.
Maybe. A ship arrives at Blood Island. So, treading the same ground.
Those fishermen, they should know.
On board are a pathologist, Dr. Bill Foster, a woman looking for her father, Sheila Willard, and a young man hoping to convince his mother to move off the island, Carlos Lopez. I'm on Carlos's side now. She lives on Blood Island. He's like, Mom, can we move to Tree Island? Christmas Island. Skin Island, even.
Sorry, I'm trying to process. So, she lives on the island, which implies that the stuff that went on in the previous movie wasn't super crazy over the top.
For her.
Like, she lived on a different part of the island, I'm assuming. Is there a village?
I think so.
Because I was picturing just like, here is an island, there is a lab, and wilderness.
No, I think that there's at least quote-unquote natives.
Okay.
And there might be like a little town, sort of beginning of Dracula style.
Okay.
Where like everybody sort of shuts their doors at night
Don't
and
go
hangs. Yes.
It's literally the town from Dracula.
Sheila discovers that her father is a hopeless alcoholic. Nothing to do with the... she's like, I'm looking for my dad. Oh, he's a drunk. Oh,
okay,
well...
So, do we know why the pathologist is going there?
I'm going to assume, based on the fact that we had, like, everything going crazy in the previous one, there's probably some disease that they're blaming this on,
so
and
he's
just
going
there to study.
For a academic/professional reason.
Yes.
She's going to find where her dad might be, and he's like, Mom, stop being on this island.
Yes.
It's so bad.
And unfortunately, the next sentence says, Mrs. Lopez does not want to leave the island.
Of course not. She's probably the villain.
Oh, interesting. I didn't think about that. Mrs. Lopez is living in the house of Dr. Lorca. She moved... You know that he's evil instantly, too, with a name like Dr. Lorca.
He's either evil, or he's from an animated series and he's an orca whale that tells stories. I am the Lorca!
A good pun.
Continue.
He was a patient of Dr. Lorca, her husband, but he died. Mrs. Lopez stays on the island to be near her husband's grave.
I was going to say, like, they couldn't afford the bill, so she stays on as help because it's a commentary about the medical system in America.
Maybe a little from System A, a little from System B. Although, column, not system. I don't think this is an American movie. This is like Italian/Spanish production.
Oh, those are always so much fun.
Uh-huh.
I'm 1,000% more on board now that I know that.
Bill is investigating a strange disease that seems to be infecting some of the islanders. There are stories of a green-skinned monster with chlorophyll blood that has been killing the local natives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Planet Monster. You don't get Planet Monsters a lot.
You don't.
You
get
have like
enough of
what
them.
Swamp Thing and Audrey too.
There's one in Z Nation. There's a plant zombie.
Awesome.
Yes. Back before that show got completely... I mean, it was always completely stupid, but it stopped caring at a certain point.
Was that before or after the Big Ball of Zombies?
No, that was actually... Oh, man, that's tough. Big Ball of Zombies is in the process of getting, like, really stupid.
Okay.
That was in these shows, we're going downhill, period.
Okay.
But there's still some good high points.
Fair enough.
I think that's when Murphy... If that's the season with Murphy Town, I love all the stuff with Murphy Town. I don't want to do Z Nation recap here, but Murphy Town was amazing. Murphy was like, he was half zombie and half human, and he could kind of control the zombies, and he was like, I'm gonna be, sort of a messianic type figure, and he built his own town where he was like biting people and then controlling them, but also they were building a society together. So it was creepy because he was controlling them, but on the other hand, some of them actually were loyal to him anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
They just did away with that in the next season, which was part of what annoyed me about the whole show. It's like, we'll move on to new things every season. One of them, I assume there's more than one monster, tries to break into the government house but is scared off. Or maybe it's one of the people on the island. I can't tell.
One of our
what they're talking
trio
about.
of heroes.
Sheila is attacked in the jungle by the chlorophyll monster. She manages to escape, but a native is killed.
It's kind of lame, but I like the name Chlorophyll Monster.
Yeah?
I don't know why. The person's with me really well.
It's a neat idea. Like, it's a great B-movie concept. You can't go very deep with it. If you start thinking about it and being like, but actually, when science that wouldn't work, like, then it falls apart. But as person who monster with plant properties, then you're on board.
Yeah, no.
Dr. Lorca has been experimenting on the natives, including the unfortunate Don Raymond, who had sought Dr. Laura's serum as a treatment for his cancer.
There's a serum now?
I'm going to assume that Dr. Lorca is making the plant people.
Yeah.
And that the serum is the chlorophyll thing that puts
Like,
them
maybe he made the plant people and he, like, harvests the serum from the plant people.
Oh, interesting.
Which is why he allows them to roam, because he has the cure-all serum from them. It's just they also, for some reason, only have to eat people. Like, they have a high-protein need, whatever, and there's not a lot of wild animals on the island.
I like that idea that he actually could stop them but doesn't because they're useful to him somehow. That's a really cool premise.
And not just, like, these are the cast-offs of whatever I was doing.
Finally, in the Blood Island trilogy, we have Beast of Blood from 1970. So they waited 2 years to make this one. The first two came out in the same year. And they're like,
so these are all a,
take a
like,
break.
subtle sequel to Night of the Blood Beast.
Sure.
No, we don't want that. Nobody does.
I feel like I'm familiar with this movie, but do you want to describe it to me?
The first astronaut in space, who was totally an American, his thing crashes after flashing lights, and then there is a stupid-looking bug monster who laid eggs inside him.
Okay.
Then, why do you always want to destroy things? And then it tries to kill people because it's psychic and evil.
That makes
sense.
sense.
And then fire. And then I don't remember much else.
This is filmed or released 2 years after the previous film, but literally picking up hours after the first film, the film begins on the boat sailing away from Blood Island. I guess those sailors come back every once in a while.
The fishermen!
Somebody survived this time. Hey, somebody did survive! Woo! All right, let's sail away.
Sail away. Sail away. Okay.
As John Ashley waxes poetic about his time on the island fighting monsters, the man-beast from the first film appears.
Oh, so he's not a chlorophyll monster.
I don't think so.
Interesting.
Well, no, I think they're calling Mad Doctor for the first film. There's actually another movie that's, like, spiritually related to these, but it was even less...
So what, it's not the one from the Brides of Blood?
No.
Okay.
I don't think.
Because that one, I think they called that one a Mutant Man-Beast or something, right?
This might be... But the Mutant Man-Beast might be the same Mutant Man-Beast. Or they're recycling the plot. Like, they made the first one and they're like, you know what? We could do it again better.
I don't know how he would have been hiding out for however long was between the first and the second movie. I like the idea that it's the first one. Because, like, they went in a whole different direction.
It can be that if you want it to be that.
And then he is somehow back.
I will say, the sentence continues, he was seen to have secreted himself in a lifeboat at the end of Mad Doctor. So it is definitely Mad Doctor. Mad Doctor of Blood Island.
Okay. Well, it's chlorophyll monsters. I like them.
And a battle occurs, which destroys the ship and leaves Ashley as the only survivor.
Who's Ashley?
John Ashley.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing he is...
That's the one that won his mom, right? No.
Okay.
Or is he the
so,
pathologist?
I'm looking back at the Mad Doctor of Blood Island, and the description lists the pathologist as Dr. Bill Foster, and then in parenthesis, which I assume means the actor's name, is John Ashley.
Okay.
Now they're just calling the actor by the... I think this is probably just the reviewer taking a different tact with how he's remembering the movie. He's like, I know who John Ashley is. I can't remember this dude's name. You know, John Ashley waxing poetic about killing the monster or whatever.
Like any movie The Rock's in.
Yeah. A year or so later, Ashley heads back to Blood Island to investigate stories that weird things have begun to happen again, despite the death of the evil Dr. Lorca. On the island, Ashley finds that many people he believed dead survived the final battle of the first film.
We already paid for these people to show up. We're just going to use them again.
Everybody liked him in the first movie. I know we killed him off, but nobody ever really dies. Emperor Palpatine's back in Rise of Skywalker.
Oh God, let's not go into that, please.
Snoke probably gets resurrected as a clone or something. I'm just saying. They stitched him back together. Darth Maul has robot legs.
If it's somehow Darth Maul is possessed by the spirit of Palpatine, I'm on board.
In Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, just go full stupid. You're already going half stupid, go full stupid.
But he's like old now? Because it's been 40 years.
Yeah, but he's an alien, and Yoda's 900 years old when he dies.
Yeah, but it'd be funnier. Maybe some species gotta age faster.
I've seen...
Where's the species that has the 10-year lifespan, but they're fully sentient?
They don't have that, but in Mass Effect there is a species that lives only 50 years.
Okay.
So there is a character in the second game who is in his 40s.
But old?
And he's old, and you can tell he's aged. He's not like withered old man, but he's getting up there in age. And in the third game, he straight up says he's getting old and he won't be around very long. And it's very sad because he's one of your buddies.
Okay. There's a science fiction short story about a race that literally lives for a day, and it's a meditation on the fact that you can never escape the constraints of time because there's a human person, and then there's also like a race that lives like 40,000 years or something, and so the human says to them like, "What must it be like to live almost forever?" And from the perspective of the people who live only a day, that's what the humans are.
Right.
So. Like, be thankful for what you got.
There's also an episode of Stargate SG-1 where they arrive at a planet where there are nanites in the food that this colony was meant to be an experiment to see what humans would evolve into. So they live a year and a day.
Okay.
And O'Neill, he eats some food, just goes, hey, it's food, and he's not the brightest person sometimes. And it starts rapidly aging him to make his body catch up.
Okay.
So he goes, like, his friends are out, like, trying to find a cure, and they can't really come because they don't want to get it contaminated themselves. So every time that pops in, he's like much, much older.
Decent age makeup?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a bit where, he's trying to explain to them that this is wrong, that they're aging that fast, and he's like, I am hundreds of days old. And they react like somebody who's just like, I'm like 500 years old. What are you talking about? Like, what?
Okay, so he finds the people are still alive, and that somehow the green men have returned. Chlorophyll monsters are back!
They're back with the worst name, but it's okay.
It isn't long before it's realized that Dr. Lorca is back and up to his old tricks.
Of making chlorophyll monsters.
It literally was. Palpatine's back. Nobody's ever really gone.
Yeah. But we got chlorophyll monsters.
But in a movie that nobody cared about, at least.
Yeah.
Like, even in Italy, I don't think people were like, man, this franchise has gone downhill. Remember when it was good back with Terror Man?
2 previous movies talking about this character. Now he's here actually the first time we killed him off. And then we'll do a prequel trilogy about telling his rise of power. And now he's just back. Yay.
You know what? I'm fine with Star Wars being bad if we just are all willing to collectively be on board with, like, not taking it seriously.
But you can't.
Like, nobody is on the set of the next Fast and Furious movie, like, furiously, no pun intended, I'm sorry there, but I'll take it. Like, trying to keep the script under lock and key and keep people from guessing what it's going to be, because who cares?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to go and see it and it's going to be fun, because it's a Fast and Furious movie. Star Wars, at some point, got infused with this sense of importance. Like, it wasn't good enough that it was a good movie that was fun to watch and, had a lot of artistry behind it. Like, that wasn't enough. It had to be, like, part of the cultural fabric.
It was that because it was the first super successful sci-fi thing, which brought people who were niche fans of that more into the forefront.
And I understand also that it was hugely influential in the realm of special effects. That it did stuff that no other film had done before. It opened people's eyes to what could be done, got people excited.
And then I think also some blame goes to George Lucas when he started doing the special editions. So then he started changing things, which certain people who already had a little bit of possessionness towards it was like, he's changing the thing I like. How dare he? And then they get up in arms, more people get up in arms, some people get up in arms to defend George. Because like, hey, he made the thing, he can change whatever he wants. The old version still exists, even though he kind of puts the old version shoved aside as much as possible.
Yeah, you can't get it on Blu-ray.
Not really.
You can't get like the
You think
high
Disney
def.
would release that? Disney's all about like getting that money.
I don't think they're allowed to. I think the prenup that they signed with George is like, nope, you put my version out. On Disney, did you hear the thing about Disney Plus?
What?
That on the version of the original Star Wars on Disney Plus, there is yet another version of the scene between Han and Greedo.
Of course.
Where, like, both of them kind of shoot at the same time, and there is a big explosion that obscures the frame for like half a second, and then Greedo's dead. I don't know if it's better or not. It doesn't seem worse.
I feel like that's a good middle ground. Because it literally is a middle ground. They're both shooting at the same time, but it's also...
And then you don't have his weird, like, CG move.
You don't have Greedo being the worst shot in the world by shooting, like, 3 feet to the left of Han Solo's head, or him, like, he's clearly not an alien because his neck slides to the right.
Yeah. This is like the third episode in a row we've talked about Star Wars.
Well, we had a big conversation. It's a big part of our life. And the new one comes out, yesterday?
Okay, it's available to watch today. Me and my son are going to go see it.
There you go.
I'm looking forward to hating it. But I'm also now looking forward to hanging out with my kid.
Okay.
I don't ever get, one-on-one time with AJ or Jack or any of them. It's like madhouse here. So it'll be very cool to do that. And I hope that you guys are having a very cool new year. Welcome to 2020. I imagine that's what time it will be when this episode finally gets out. Because, there's a lot going on with me. I'm going to be moving. I wonder if I'll be in the new house by the time I'm editing this, Brentley. We'll see. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.